Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. This week is another running vlog after a couple of weeks of hiatus of running. I was running, I just wasn't bringing you guys along with me. And I thought I'd do 5 top tips for running, things that I found really useful over the course of the time that I've been running. And also I'm going to introduce you to a new piece of gear that I have been using religiously over the last month and a half. I would just like to thank Honor for sponsoring this video. I've been testing out the Honor Magic Watch 2. Here it is. Over the last month and a bit, I've done 140 kilometers of running in it so far. And I've also been testing out their earbuds. So I'm going to do a little review of those on here and also talk you through my top 5 tips for running. The Honor Magic Watch 2 is a fitness watch that has loads of different fitness features on it. And one thing that I really struggle with when I'm looking for a fitness watch is having decent battery life for running. If any of you guys run ultra marathons or do regular exercise, as I'm sure you guys do, you know how annoying it is to have to plug in your watch at the end of every single day. So one thing that I really like about the Magic Watch is that it can survive for up to 14 days without charging. It has really good GPS. It's got 15 different exercise modes, so whether you're just running or you're incorporating swimming, cycling, hiking, all sorts of different things into your workout regime, there are options for all of those things. And then it connects obviously to your phone, and then they have the app on there so you can see all the data. And I'm a total data nerd, so I really enjoy looking at all the data that they have on the app, and I'll show you a little bit more about that later. And then they've got the headphones here, and these are Bluetooth headphones. There they are. I've been using these religiously as well for the last month and a half or so and really like them. They're probably the best sound cancelling headphones that I have ever worn, mainly because something I struggle with when I'm running in sound cancelling headphones is the fact that usually they're over the ear. Obviously in the summer that gets unbearably hot and you end up with really sweaty ears. So one thing that I love about these is that they're in-ear headphones and they have active noise cancellation, so they're not just cancelling it through being very thick, they have the electronic noise cancellation. That means you can switch it on and off, so obviously if you're in cities and you don't want to cancel out sound you can turn it off, but if you're in a noisy place and you'd rather just listen to your music then you can turn it on as well. And that's something I found really useful here if there's lots going on and I don't really want to be concentrating on anything other than the music or the podcast that I'm listening to. So I found that very, very helpful. I'm going to talk you through some of the features of the watch as we go and show you a little bit more about how I've been using it as well, but just very quickly, it offers the exercise programs, but it also does sleep tracking, it does oxygen concentration in your blood. If you're a triathlete, it does swimming heart rate monitoring, it does consistent heart rate monitoring, stress monitoring. I mean, it has so many features that a lot of other watches don't have. And the great thing about it is that despite the fact that it's quite a big watch in a way, so you've obviously got a really big display, it doesn't drain the battery life load. So that has to be one of my favorite features, is that it has a long battery life, and that has been a godsend. I have to charge it a lot less than I had to charge my previous watches, so I really like that about it. That's why it is now my only watch that I'm using at the moment. On to my top 5 fitness tips, because I promised that I'd share these with you before we went off on the run. The first top fitness tip that I would say is to make running a habit before you try and get any medals. I say this kind of after I was speaking to my coach a little bit, because he was saying, actually, how can you expect to start a running program if you haven't even created the time to go running? And creating the time to go running and making yourself go out every single day isn't about immediately going out on this exercise program. It might be about just heading out the door 3 times a week for a walk in the times that you think that you want to go running. And creating that sort of habit means that when you eventually up your game and you eventually start running them or start incorporating interval sessions or longer runs, you've at least made a bit of space in your day to do that. First thing is create a habit, and doing exercise programs can be really helpful with that, but make sure you have some sort of base before starting anything. My second tip is find gear that works for you. And there are so many vlogs online of fitness gear that is, you know, favourite fitness gear or whatever, and I have shared my own vlogs of what my favourite workout gear is, including my favourite shoes and including my favourite sports bras, leggings, all that kind of stuff. But obviously everyone is different, and while I can share my own personal preferences, it's much better if you guys can try your own things and find something that works for you. The best way to do this, and the most important thing to do this on, is with shoes and by ordering lots of different types. So if you're trying to find a new shoe, maybe think of what you like in a shoe, so whether that's being being really cushioned, being quite minimalist, whatever it is that you prefer, and then ordering lots of similar type of shoes of different brands and different styles that you think might work. If they're not comfortable straight away, they won't be comfortable when you're running in them. You shouldn't have to break in a shoe nowadays. It should kind of be comfortable from the off. I really like Hoka One Cliftons, but a lot of people find that they actually give you blisters, so that might be because we have a different foot shape or a different style of running. I also really like the Asics Gel Nimbus 20s, but a lot of people find them too heavy, too clunky, too much support, would prefer something a bit lighter. So find the gear that works for you, and then kind of, you don't need to buy loads of new stuff around it every single time. You can just stick to what works for you, and you probably will realise when you've bought something new and it's kind of gone straight to the back of your drawer and you don't necessarily pick it up as much as you used to. That's probably not something that you should be buying again. Just stick to what you know, stick to what works, and take recommendations from people, but also take it with a pinch of salt, because what works for them might not work for you. Third top tip would be to enter races and find a bit of a running community. I don't have a club, I run mainly by myself, but the best people that I've found in the running community have been through races. Most recently that I can think of would be the Azores Tribe Run for Love, and I absolutely love that race, and I'm still chatting to the people who I met there. I mean, we were kind of camping in the same tents for like 5 days, so you do get pretty close with people pretty quickly. We have so much in common just through running, but also, you know, runners quite often are interested in sustainability, they're quite often interested in the outdoors and nutrition and all that kind of stuff, so you tend to have a lot in common, and by finding community as well, it keeps you engaged in running, it keeps you motivated. You might learn about great races, you might learn about new kit. You kind of keep in with the whole community of running a lot easier if you enter races and meet new people who are doing kind of the same thing as you. And that doesn't mean that you have to be really good, you know, you don't have to be pro to be entering races all the time. There are so many great races out there, a lot of them are really fun as well, so you don't have to be fantastic to start entering your first race. I would say that one of the best ways of starting with the kind of race atmosphere would be parkrun. Obviously it's not a race, everyone knows that, and I may have referred to it as a race in previous vlogs, but it's not. It's just a really great free Saturday morning 9 AM run with a lot of people in your local community, and it's just a chance to get out and experience a kind of timed 5k every Saturday morning. And then moving on from that, you can start entering 10k races, obstacle courses, cross-country races, adventure races. There are so many amazing things out there and so many brilliant experiences that you can have, and you meet so many incredible people that I just think it's so worth doing. And some of them can be quite expensive, but I do think that actually entering races is one of my favourite things to do with running, and that's not just because I'm super competitive, although obviously I am. It's also because of the people that you see there and the great atmosphere that a lot of the races have. Enter races and find yourself a bit of a community. My fourth tip that I mentioned in a lot of recent vlogs would be to not forget your strength and conditioning and physiotherapy if you have it. I kind of forget that not everyone has physio. I kind of just assume that all runners are always injured, which isn't that far off. I think it's something like 25% of runners are injured every year, so yes, you're likely to get injured 1 in every 4 years, which actually has pretty much been true for me as well. By incorporating strength and conditioning into your training, it makes you a more well-rounded runner, it can make you a better runner, less prone to injuries, and also variety is the spice of life. So just incorporating strength and conditioning and any physiotherapy that you might have from previous injuries or injuries that you're prone to can mean that you're much better in the long run. Even if your running's improving slower because you're not spending as much time doing it, you're much less likely to get injured year on year, and then you're not going to take that massive, what feels like a massive step back when you next get injured. I really enjoy lifting weights and I like doing boxing as well, and that's all my kind of cross training that I do, but yours might be cycling, it might be Joe Wick's PE classes, but anything that can have a little bit of resistance in it that's not the kind of high impact, very intense running that a lot of us do would be really good as a kind of alternative to your running days. My last one, contrary to that, would be to incorporate interval training into your everyday or weekly training schedule. I did a post recently about the benefits of interval training, so if you're not entirely sure why it's good, go and check that out, but it has a myriad of health and fitness benefits and is one of the best things you can do if you're looking to become a faster or more proficient runner. A lot of people, I think, kind of go out for 3 rounds a week just jogging, and that's absolutely fine. Like, if that's all you want to do and if that's what you enjoy, keep that up, because that is going to keep you happy and that's going to keep you fit. But one of the best things that you can do for increasing your speed and progressing with your running is doing interval training. And that can be anything from 200-meter repeats on a track to 1 or 2 kilometer or 5, 10, 15-minute intervals with a little bit of a break in between on the road. So they can vary a lot. There are so many things out there and they all have slightly different benefits, and some of them you might really enjoy, some of them you might think is like your version of hell. I certainly have experienced some of that as well recently. But incorporating interval training is a good way of mixing up your training, and also you can get a lot of the benefits that you get from much longer runs in a much shorter space of time when you're interval training. And they've always been incorporated into my preparation for races, but also for the boxing fights that I did, because they increase your power and your speed. I really enjoy them, but I come from a sprinting background, so that's probably why. It's more my forte than the longer distance runs, but it means you get used to running at a faster pace for a longer period of time, which means that when you eventually get round to doing your 5k, 10k, half marathon, marathon races, you can sustain that faster pace for longer. So if you haven't started interval training yet, definitely go check out the blog posts and have a little bit of a look, because I've put some resources in there with some suggestions for interval training sessions that you might like to give a go. So those are my top 5 tips. I'm going to get ready to go for our run now, and then we're going to head out and we're going down to the seaside. Hopefully it won't be too busy because it is very grey and miserable outside. It has been raining all afternoon, and we're going to explore some new routes. And everything I've looked at so far has been about 18 kilometers, so I'm really hoping it's not that far. But it'll probably be between 12 and 18. Who knows how far it will be. Just out there to enjoy it. They have lots of different things. So like I was saying about interval training, they've got running courses on here. So if you're a beginner runner, they've got some run walk sessions that you can do, but they also have things like interval training, some more complex things that I don't even know what they are, then obviously longer, more endurance runs as well, and some faster ones at the end. For today, we're just gonna set it on an outdoor run. Let's go. Say hi! Hi. The whole first kilometre, just one massive hill, means the rest of it's a little bit easier from here, but God, it kills me every time. I hit a kilometre just at the top of the hill, and I'm usually dead by that point. Just want to go back down and back home again. Taking a slightly longer route round. There are 2 options to get to the coast here. Well, there are lots, but where we're specifically going, you can either cut straight across the fields and it's direct, but extremely hilly, or you can go around on the roads, which is a little bit more windy, slightly less hilly. Usually we go direct because this is already quite a long run, so you can deal with the hills, just do them slowly and then make it a slightly shorter run. But it rained like a month's worth of rain over the last 24 hours, so the hills are likely to be bogs, so we're avoiding that a little bit. And there's a farm near here where if it rains too much, you have to wade through like 200 meters worth of slurry. So we didn't see, but we assume it's going to be pretty grim, so we're avoiding that and taking the longer route. We've done all the extreme hills on the way here, and it's all downhill on the way to the sea. Got about 1 more kilometre to get there. We have done, oh, there we go. Great timing, 5 kilometres. Really nice chilled pace because we still don't actually know how long this is going to be. Such a beautiful little town down here. There's always a headwind on the coast. Whichever way you go, it's always going against you. I think it's worth it for these views. I hate sand running. So I don't think it's any faster than sand walking. but Fiann loves it. If it was up to me, we'd be up there, but Fiann likes to go along the beach, so here we are. Woo! And of course, Fiann stops to have a look if there are any fossils. This is why our runs take so long. So this is the new bit of the route for us. Unfortunately, it's still sandy, or pebbly rather. This is Chesil Beach, or the start of Chesil Beach. The southwest coast path does go along here a little bit, along the back of the beach, but we've never done it before because it's kind of hard to know where it goes. It's just quite open. So here we are, testing it out. So far so good. But I'm a bit bored of running on sand because I can't do it. I'm really bad at it. Fiann is annoyingly very good at it. We just stopped for some photos because it's very pretty. And now we're going back to a bit that we really don't know at all. It's an attempt to find a route back home again. And needless to say, it seems to be all uphill so far. If anyone's ever done Purbeck 16, this route's a little bit like that. And just as hilly, but thankfully not just as long. As per usual, we don't know where we are. We're in a field that looks like it's meant for animals and not for humans, but we can see people, so we think they must be on the path that we're supposed to be on. So off we go.
Go right and then head across again.
Let's see your ankle weight. Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, we're 12 kilometres in. Could stop and have a cider. What do you think? Yeah? Oh no, boo. Worth it for that view. Wait, where do we come, where? What?
Where the houses are on the beach. Big white houses.
Yeah.
And then to the end of the cliff is
the drop off. So we came all the way from over there to there, to there, and then to there. 13k. And we almost know where we are. The hills here are just endless. We've done 340 metres of climbing so far, to like 5 kilometres from home. It's ridiculous. And we've been on road, we've been on sand, pebbles, cliff, mud, scrubland, dunes, derelict land, farmland. Yeah, all the terrain. No wonder I'm tired. This sign means we are how far from home?
4k.
4k. Done 16k. Now we're on the finishing stretch.
All downhill from here.
Woo! In a good way. .71k. Whew, longest run since I've had this watch. How are my legs? Little bit sore, very muddy. Nearly broke my ankle on some of those rocks near the end.
Yeah, that was treacherous.
because it's rained, that a lot of the steep roads just become like rivers, or the rocks become exposed, and there's like ankle breaking terrain. But it's my favourite kind of running, really. Ankle breaking. Yeah. And I was just walking the last bit back home. That felt pretty good. Did it feel good to you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice steady pace for that kind of distance, I think.
Yeah,
we didn't gun it. No.
Any further and I might have done some damage.
Yeah, I mean, it's our longest run in a while as well, so, and hilliest run in a while. So putting those two things together, I'm pretty pleased with that. Woo! Quite muddy. Workout records, 16.71. Outdoor run, not too bad. Max speed 3. Average pace 5:59. Cadence is a bit low, but not bad. Climbed 420 meters. That explains why my bum hurts. Yikes. That's pretty high. Probably one of my favourite features of the watch is that it does recovery time as well, so you can see from how fit you are and how intense that activity was, how long you should wait until your next exercise. So for me that's 17 hours. That means I can work out tomorrow. But when I did my half marathon recently, or my 10k time trial, it said basically 2 days. So that shows that I've got fitter, and also that that was a shorter run. Run done. I actually really enjoyed that one. I get a little bit nervous about really long runs, especially if I know that they're going to be really long when we're setting out. I just kind of forget that I've done it before and that I can actually do it, and then just assume that it's going to be way harder. But when you take it at a really easy pace, then it's super nice, and obviously the views here are incredible. Looking at the watch, it says we did a huge amount of elevation, a kind of much slower pace than most of my interval training, and that is why I tell you to do interval training, so that when you're used to going fast, something that's like 5 minutes per kilometre or 6 minutes per kilometre feels suddenly quite slow and quite a steady pace, so it actually feels so much easier. But if you're running all of your runs then it feels like quite a push, so you get used to running faster, and then you can kind of ease off for your longer runs and just do those in whatever pace you fancy doing them in. The watch is really good at pairing really quickly to the health app, and it's actually the fastest one that I've ever had, because it seems to pair absolutely like straight away. So as soon as I came back from my run, I could go onto my phone and then see further details that you can actually see on the watch, and they're really good. So they have everything from the route map that you did, to your elevation gain, to your heart rate the whole way through, your cadence, your speed, your pace, all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, very good for a stats nerd like me. I'm gonna eat a scone now, or two. Absolutely starving, even though we had quite a lot of food before we came out, so gonna gorge my face on that. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to check out the Honor Magic Watch 2. Thank you very much to Honor for sponsoring this video as well. And the headphones as well. I didn't wear them on this run because I like to experience nature in all its wonderful glory, and that includes having Fiann chatting in my ear. But on my interval training sessions, it is a godsend to have those headphones, and they honestly are the best sound cancelling headphones I have ever had in my life. And I really like that they're wireless as well, because then you don't get wires getting stuck in your hands as you run. So go and check those out, and I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any comments, obviously comment down below, and if you did enjoy it, please do hit the thumbs up button and click subscribe, and I hope to see you next week. Bye!